Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, I've heard from many of you over the past week sharing your Hanukkah miracles. We all have miracles, in our lives, and it's great hearing from everybody. The world is a world of miracles. We have so many miracles in our lives, many of which we do not even see as miracles. Things like our ability to worship, as you will, freedom to find love, having companionship, being inquiring, the ability to travel, maybe not in this year, but in most years, and to enjoy freedoms, being able to have free choice. All of these things are fantastic miracles in our lives. Wonder of wonders, miracle of miracles. God took a Daniel once again, stood by his side, miracle of miracles, walked him through the lion's den. And of course, the greatest miracle of all is our freedoms to find and share love. Now, the first of the great festivals of light is ending. And this year, in a week, we will have the other, Christmas. It will not be a normal Christmas, but it hasn't been a normal year. But that does not mean you cannot still celebrate the love, peace, and goodwill that it traditionally promises. Christmas celebrates one great light, while Hanukkah celebrates the increase of light, but both mean the same. They are both about light coming back into our lives. And since we looked at the meaning of the first 5 candles last week, let's take a quick look at the meaning of the last 3 this week. Now, the 6th candle speaks of the oppression of people. And this is not just something from the past. Every generation has nation waging war with nation. Ignorance, prejudice, jealousy, false pride, greed, the destructive thoughts and feelings held in our hearts come out and are manifested in word and deed that dehumanizes and destroys. And the 6th candle reminds us of these, and it encourages that our hearts be cleansed of those attitudes by the light of life and love. The 7th candle reminds us of the 7 days of creation, and it speaks of joy and celebration, while the 8th candle tells us that light is everywhere. It is always all around us. So have those last 2, especially about joy and celebration and light being everywhere, and keep them in your hearts all the time. And as we celebrate and cherish the light, try and gather, if you can, and see the great 800-year conjunction, the Christmas star, when Jupiter and Saturn appear as one in the sky. The last time it happened, Genghis Khan and the Mongol horde had arisen. St. Francis of Assisi founded the Franciscan order. The Magna Carta was being signed. Oxford University was founded. Marco Polo was on the cusp of discovering China. This was quite a time. But this is our time. So let us use the time to gather, come together as a like-minded group in the collective consciousness of seekers showing faith and love, a community, a chavura, fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of Spirit Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite whoever you know physically that you can, the rest digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share, because we can all gather spiritually. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world, my friends. Remember, this is your setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. Let's take some time now to send some of that goodwill, some light, and some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. The world needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. Floats through space, finding those in need, so send it out. For those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call the names. It's not just for people. It is for our pets. It is for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. So let's send thoughts and energy for health and renewal for everybody in need, for those in our hearts and our minds, For Frank and Megan, for John, for Karen, for Dan, Maria, for Bob, for Ryan and Tommy, for Anna, for Shana, and for the B. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit never dies. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishmerach, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He's healed before. Mishmerach, may He who blessed, because all healing's a blessing. Let us all send and receive healing and renewal energy to everybody in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. So before you go out and get your tree and segue from one holiday to the next, make sure you have that last donut and latke. Take that final spin of the dreidel. Now, there is a fascinating item, the dreidel. A top, a spinning gambling device. No wonder it's lasted a few thousand years. Now, we all know what the traditional dreidel looks like. But now they have these modern, futuristic dreidels. It spins, it lights up, but I haven't figured out how to release it from its little holders or how you can easily tell which letter comes up. But everything progresses with time, so I'm not sure how the payday on it will work. I feel like a spinning top or a dream. The spinning doesn't stop when you leave the cradle. You just slow down. Round and round this world you go. Spinning through the lives of the people you know. We all slow down. How you gonna keep on turning from day to day? And that's what we do with the dreidel. It just keeps on turning. Now this week is my dear friend Nina's favorite parsha. It's always during Hanukkah, and it tells the story of one of the great miracles of history, the saving of a nation, if not a world. And it's introduced by our last set of double dreams. This time they are by Pharaoh. And these act as a miraculous event which propels Joseph to true greatness. A crash of drums, a flash of light, my golden coat flew out of sight. Colors faded into darkness, I was left alone. May I return to the beginning. The light is dimming, and the dream is too. The world and I, we're still waiting, still hesitating. Any dream will do. And for so many people, any dream will do. We love dreams. Now, I'm one of those people who says they do not dream often, but that simply means I don't remember. We all dream, and we dream every night. But memory, that's another story. So when we wake up and remember, it is exciting, and it is like Archimedes' aha moments. So the other night, I knew I was dreaming while dreaming, and I woke up and I wanted to remember it. I kept telling myself in my dream that I needed to remember. And I actually did remember most of the dream. I had a black beard like when I was younger. And I was on a ship and my luggage was in an aisle and I was looking for it before checking out. And I was having some difficulty finding it. It was like the checkout counters in a grocery store and all the aisles led to it. And I was thinking about it and I found myself speaking to my Joseph, my great dream interpreter. and told my dream and even offered up what I thought the meaning was. And the dream master, Baal Halamot, my Joseph, said, no, that's not what it means. It means this. And I listened to the interpretation. I was blown away by it and knew it was right. The power and the message that we get from dreams. Now, this week we read miketz at the end. Oh, yeah. All right. Are you gonna be in my dreams tonight? How apropos that the Beatles end with the thoughts of a dream. Now, this is another fantastic parsha, beginning with Joseph's interpretation of Pharaoh's dreams. And we have his rise to power, and it culminates in his brothers' 2 journeys to Egypt. Genesis 41. And it was at the end of 2 years' time, and Pharaoh was dreaming. And he was standing by the Nile, and here coming up from the Nile were 7 cows, beautiful looking, fat-fleshed, and they fed in the reeds. And here were 7 other cows coming up after them from the Nile, bad-looking, thin-fleshed, and they stood by the cows that were by the bank of the Nile, and the bad-looking, thin-fleshed cows ate the 7 beautiful-looking fat cows. And Pharaoh woke up. And he slept and dreamed the second time. And here were 7 ears of grain coming up on one stalk, fat and good. And here were 7 ears of grain, thin and scorched by the east wind, growing after them. And the thin ears of grain swallowed the 7 fat and full ears of grain. And Pharaoh woke up. And here it was a dream. Again, we have a double dream. And doubles are life-altering events, my friends. We've seen that with names and with dreams. Now, these are the last 2 of the 6 great dreams surrounding Joseph. All of them were life-altering. And none of Egypt's great spiritualists and magicians were able to interpret the dreams for Pharaoh. But the cupbearer then remembers and tells Pharaoh about Joseph. Now, you may or may not have noticed that numbers are important in the Bible and in these dreams. First, with Joseph and his family, we had 12. Then with the baker and cupbearer, 3. Now with Pharaoh, 7. 12, 3, and 7, which equals 22, for the letters of the alphabet and paths on the tree of life, suggesting, among other things, that these dreams can encompass all the lessons of life. Genesis 41:14. And Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they rushed him from the pit. And he shaved and changed his clothing, came to Pharaoh. Now think about it a moment. This is the second time Joseph is rescued from a pit. What does a pit suggest? The pit of despair, the lowest we can be, and languishing in prison was as low as it could be. So Joseph is brought to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said to Joseph, I've had a dream. There's no one who can tell the meaning of it, and I've heard about you saying, you hear a dream so as to tell the meaning of it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, not I. God will answer regarding Pharaoh's well-being. Not I, God. The recognition of where power comes from, the lack of ego, the growth and wisdom that we've now seen of this boy, now man. Now Pharaoh tells the 2 dreams, and Joseph said to Pharaoh, Pharaoh's dream, it is one. Has told Pharaoh what God is doing. And Joseph goes on to tell him, Genesis 41:29. Here, 7 years are coming, big, bountifulness in all the land of Egypt, and 7 years of famine will rise after them. And all the bountifulness in the land of Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will finish off the land. And about the recurrence of the dream to Pharaoh 2 times, because the thing is right from God, and God is hurrying to do it. Joseph not only interprets, but even suggests to Pharaoh what to do, even though he wasn't asked. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has made you know all this, there's no one as understanding and wise as you. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphanath-Paneah, and he gave Asenath, daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, as a wife. And Joseph went out over the land of Egypt, and Joseph was 30 years old when he stood in front of Pharaoh. 30 years old. Do the math. He has been in Egypt 13 years. Much of the time in the house of slaves as a prisoner. Now he is second to Pharaoh in the most powerful country on earth. The 7 years of bounty come. He oversees the stockpiling of food, and he has a family, 2 sons. Then the famine comes, and we are told all the earth came to Egypt to buy to Joseph because the famine was strong in all the earth. And Joseph's foresight is now providing all people everywhere with food. Then 2 years into the famine, Jacob says to his sons, Genesis 42:2, here, I've heard that there's grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy grain for us from there, and we'll live and not die. Can't you feel the wheels of karma turning? You couldn't write a better novel, a better story, a better script than this. It is the universal longing, that search for justice. It's the Count of Monte Cristo, Les Miserables, Crime and Punishment, A Tale of Two Cities. It is the Odyssey. It all began with the Bible. We had a great reunion with Jacob and his brother Esau, and now we're going to have one between Joseph and his brothers. And 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt, and Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers because he said, in case some harm will happen to him. Well, you can still see how Jacob thinks. When he feared seeing Esau, he was prepared to sacrifice everything but Rachel and Joseph. And yet they're the two who are gone. Rachel's other son, Benjamin, is all he has left of her. So he's not prepared to lose him. The others, oh well. Okay, now we saw Joseph at 17 and at 30, and now it's 9 years later, so he's 39 or 40. Genesis 42:6. And Joseph was the one in charge over the land. He was the one who sold grain to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed to him, noses to the ground. The first two dreams are now coming true. The sheaves of wheat and the stars in the sky that bowed down to him. Genesis 42:7. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he made himself unrecognizable to them. And he spoke with them in hard tones, and he said to them, from where have you come? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Why would they? He's dead. They never thought they would see him again. They were sure he was dead, when he was 17. How easily we can fool ourselves into anything we want. And we do that. We fool ourselves and we relegate people to being dead. Is anybody dead to you? Are you maybe dead to somebody? It's what we do, but we don't have to be that way. The brothers are arrested as spies and they profess their innocence. But an insidious seed has been growing these many years. Guilt. Genesis 42:21. And they said each to his brother, but we're guilty over our brother because we saw his soul's distress when he implored us. We didn't listen. On account of that, this distress has come to us. So their guilt over what they did has germinated. They see it as this is now their karmic payback. Now, we don't know the effect that the guilt might have had on them over all these years. But we learn here something we didn't know before, that Joseph implored them to let him go. He cried out in anguish from the pit. They ignored it. Joseph understands everything they say. But of course, they think he understands nobody because he speaks Egyptian. But he's moved by what they say. He weeps, but he gives nothing away. He has grown. He sees the big picture. He sees the great mechanics in the movement of his life, and he will explain all that next week. Karma, my friends, is a very interesting thing. It's always someone else's. It's never ours. When bad things happen to someone else, we say it is karma. But when it happens to us, we say, why me? Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred, my friends. Remember, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life and tell those you love that you love them. We are the ones who set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. And ask for forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. This time of the year, learn to be compassionate. The secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself? Can you accept other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you, act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power, my friends, it lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And most of the time, we're never aware of it. Continue to explore faith and belief, and do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean, and remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. And keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Keep asking for and observing the miracles of your life. And always continue to dream. And have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year, all our troubles will be out of sight. Someday soon, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Now, how prophetic that tune from 1943 would be today. Now, let's hope next year the fates allow and that everybody's troubles will be out of sight. Now, thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week. Share the light. Be thankful. Be gracious. Be kind. Be loving. Believe in yourself. And spread a little goodwill and some miracles to the world. And I'll see you all next week. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.